Short rests are a common staple in D&D and other tabletop RPGs. But in PF2e, short rests don't really exist in a similar manner. So what is a short rest equivalent within the system? Picture this. You just came out of a fight. It was a challenging encounter, and most of the party is pretty bruised up, with some barely surviving the ordeal. The casters have used many of their spells, some of which were focus spells from their subclass, and the healer only has a few spells remaining. Your party consists of a druid, fighter, rogue, and sorcerer. What do you do? Short rests in Pathfinder 2nd Edition are typically 10-minute intervals of role-playing, describing each moment in nice bite-sized chunks, which allows for downtime rolls that can change how long you spend in a room or resting. So let's break down what would likely occur in the next hour of in-game time in 10-minute intervals. In the first 10 minutes, someone trained or better in medicine will do treat wounds checks on everyone else, or on themselves, at the DC difficulty that they are privy to. Being trained, expert, master, or legendary opens up higher DCs you can attempt. But in this case, it's the druid who has high wisdom and is an expert in medicine. This takes 10 minutes to do, and the fighter is the one with the most damage taken, so they get healed first. Two of the party members have time to dawdle, so the rogue decides to search an area of the room that was just cleared, while the sorcerer spends 10 minutes meditating, or whatever roleplay their character would do to help them refocus, gaining all of their missing focus spell slots back. "10 minutes are up. The rogue searching the room has cleared some rubble and found some loose change in the corner, and they pocket it, rolling a stealth check. The druid doing a medicine check rolled well and got an 18+ modifier and ended up critting a DC 20 heal, so they healed the fighter up 4d8 plus 10, but they aren't fully healed yet, and will have to wait a full hour to get another medicine check. The sorcerer got their focus spell slots back, and then goes to get healed next by the druid. The rogue, after pocketing the coin, moves to the door that the party will next go to check for traps. The fighter who was healed begins to search an unchecked area of the room for 10 minutes, a ragged bookshelf in the corner. The druid then takes care of the sorcerer with another medicine check at DC 20. Another 10 minutes has passed, 20 in total so far, and the druid rolled a 9+ modifier, so the caster heals 2d8 plus 10, which tops them off anyways as they didn't take too much damage. After getting healed, the sorcerer spends some time searching the room fully with a detect magic spell at 3rd level right at the center. The rogue who looked at the door finds it's trapped with something relatively simple, and says that they can disarm it when the party is ready to press on. Then goes over to the druid and gets a medicine check of their own. The fighter who checked part of the large room not fully explored finds some books in a language they don't quite understand, grabbing the one that is in the best condition for someone to translate later. It may not be anything important, but it will reveal more info on the location they are in. 30 minutes since the party began taking a break, the druid rolled a 14+ modifier on the rogue's medicine check, healing them 2d8 plus 10. The rogue is topped off entirely, and goes to look at the books the fighter had searched. Maybe they can read whatever language it is or learn more about it with a skill check, whether it's religion, occultism, or society. The druid then begins to heal themselves as the rest of the party shuffles about the room. The fighter spends some time affixing a talisman to their weapon, as during the last fight, they used the one that was originally there. And the sorcerer found something magical, but the detect magic said the spell was an illusion, so they'll do another detect magic on a far corner of the room to see if they could hone in on where to look. They also let the rest of the party know about the illusion. As the 40-minute mark passes, the druid rolled a 16+ mod to succeed his own medicine check. They aren't totally topped off as they are missing around 5 hit points, but they feel ready enough to get moving. The rogue tried looking at the books, but didn't know how to read the language either, so they did their best to roll up a society check to see if they at least recognize which language it is. Doing this will possibly give the party and the DM a direction to go after the building has been fully explored and cleared. The sorcerer's Venn diagram of detect magic yielded no magical presence, so they begin searching in the corner where the second detect magic cantrip didn't affect. The druid, now having healed the party, takes some time to meditate, rolling a ball of clay in their hand to help them refocus and get their 2 spell slots back. The sorcerer finds the illusioned object to be a hole in the wall, which held a scroll and a hefty bag of coin. The coin is distributed evenly as the rogue was trying to read a book. The druid and sorcerer take a look at the scroll and take turns trying to identify it, with the druid going first. It's an Arcana check, and they are both at least trained in that skill. The rogue succeeds in recognizing the language to be Jotun, which they are confident they can find someone in town who can read the book and translate it for them at a cost. The fighter is as ready as they can be save for their missing health, and begin to make small talk and roleplay with other characters. They could keep searching where other members have, but opt not to do that. Only 1 hour has passed so far, and save for the fighter's health, the party is just about ready to get moving. The rogue begins to attempt to disarm the trap, a simple poisoned lock that would stab the person's hand who tried to rotate the knob on the door. The druid, lacking expert and a strong modifier in their Arcana skill, failed to identify the scroll, so the sorcerer gives it an attempt next. Their Arcana is roughly the same as the druid's. The druid, looking to use a bit of their extra time, leaves a sigil at 3rd level on the doorframe where they entered the room, then uses prestidigitation on the books that the rogue and fighter looked through, cleaning up the desk space just a bit before they leave in case they want to use this room again in the future. Meanwhile, the fighter looks over the rogue's shoulder, hyping up their skills while trying their best to describe what the rogue is doing in a soft whisper. The rogue chuckles because the fighter is completely incorrect the whole time. The druid gives the fighter another medicine check now that an hour has passed, describing it as them redressing the fighter's wounds with fresh bandages and giving him a hearty slap on the back for both good luck and as a placebo effect, saying,
"Right, good as new."
The druid then proceeds to roll a nat 20, giving the fighter another 4d8 plus 10, healing them completely. The sorcerer succeeds in identifying the scroll as the blur spell, something that the sorcerer could in fact use, so they pocket the scroll for the future. The rogue successfully disarms the trap, and then asks the fighter to jiggle the handle gently to double check. The rogue is very confident that the trap is broken, but enjoys seeing the high energy fighter have to act calmly and be gentle. The fighter, in fact, does not act calmly and twists the handle quickly and swings open the door to the next room with ample vigor, revealing a dark hallway. And thus, the party continues. Some downtimes can be 2+ hours as multiple medicine checks are required, and the 1 hour wait to do a second and third check can eat the time out of the day if you aren't careful. Sometimes it's better to set up camp, traps, and a watch and commit to a long rest, or to go back to town, mostly healed after a single hour, and then spend the rest of the day at shops and getting some downtime activities done, like having a book get deciphered or drinking at a tavern, listening in to conversations. Role-playing is also super fun during these downtimes, as every character is doing something very specific for those 10 minutes. You could be like the fighter and hype up a friend's check by aiding them or being silly. Or spend time talking to another player trying to pry them of their personal information for more character growth. The short rests of Pathfinder 2nd Edition do take a bit more time than 5e's short rests, but when done in character, they can turn what could be a mundane part of the game to be incredibly fun and memorable. I greatly enjoy the short rests in this system after a fight. Exerting yourself in a life or death situation should be exhausting and should warrant time to sit down and meditate on what it is you had to do to continue your own existence or maintain the safety in a region. They feel more in the player's control than in 5e, where the DM can say, "You feel this area is unsafe," or "It's only 10 AM, a short rest for 2 hours doesn't make sense right now." With how crunchy PF2e is, a short rest is basically mandatory after every encounter of moderate difficulty or higher. And with that, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I have so much more I want to cover, so be sure to follow me to stay up to date on my content. Till next time, may the dice be in your favor.